Guys, we have a special guest in the building today. Another man speaking on alpha, the beta, the confidence, the swagger to help you build a rotation or even be in a happy relationship. All the way from Indianapolis, correct? Indianapolis?
Yes, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, Selna Kim, everybody. Everybody, be a nice little warm welcome. Selma, man. So what got
Of
you?
course, thank you.
My pleasure, man. What got you onto the TikTok app to create some content?
Oh man, dude. What got me on the TikTok app, dude? Uh, so much actually. Like I used to be a complete simp, bro. Like
Okay. Yeah, me
just a
too.
complete beta male back in high school. Like
Me too.
went through a huge transformation. I guess like the short story is that I just wanted to know how the can I get girls?
Yeah.
And is it okay if I cuss on the show? Like by the way, because like
I'd minimize it. Minimize it.
minimize it.
Yeah, because I can
Okay.
just go back and edit. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So it's like I just want to know how to get girls basically.
Yeah.
And and so it's like I in college, I went through this in high school. I was like, okay, huge simp days. Go to college. Okay, I'm going to university now. Like I'm gonna make this huge change. Like I'm gonna become the man that I want. Go to college. The same exact thing happens. Like I don't know how to talk to girls, don't know how to get girls. I have this girl in my math class. I was a soccer player, and I was trying everything I could to get her. She was talking to this other guy, she said, and
Hmm.
I still couldn't do anything, dude. I was just simping, double texting, trying everything I could. I thought like the Hollywood portrays us, to get girls or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm not making a change here. And luckily, I had a friend that I knew that was a club promoter,
Oh, nice.
and he he was in high school with me. And so back when I was in high school, like I was the kid. I was not popular. I got bullied a lot. I got beat up a lot. Just went through some very, very traumatic things in high school, went through bankruptcy with my family. And so it's like I had trauma going on in high school and at home. And so it's like I felt like I had no like certainty spot. And so it's like, but this one dude moved, I think it was from Nigeria. And he moved here and he basically he didn't know anybody. And I did him a favor and I took him to school like a lot because he lived in my neighborhood. We lived in this very poor neighborhood. And so I took him to school a lot with me. He'd carpool with me. And so that's how I got into school. And in college, I look him up again. We went through like our separate ways, and I look him up again, and I see he's this huge club promoter. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I go back to him. I'm like, okay, like I did him favors in high school. Maybe he's going to do the same for me. Like maybe he'll teach me something. And so I go to the clubs. I find him, and I'm like, hey man, I was like, it's great to see you again. I was like, I literally like go there begging basically. I'm just like, dude, like teach me how to talk to girls. Teach me how to be an alpha male like you. Like teach me everything. And long story short, he starts to teach me. I pick up on the stuff really quick. Like he teaches me stuff like push pull. Have you ever heard of that before? Like push
Mhm.
pull and all that, and disqualifying. He teaches me all that, and I pick up on it pretty quickly. And I become a promoter with him.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I'm a promoter for I think like a year and a half. And I eventually leave that community just because I didn't want to really like do that stuff anymore. And that's when I was talking to some people, and they're like, I think you need to like really write a book because as I was learning this stuff, I was teaching it to other people who were having similar problems that I was, and I was like do this, do that, do this. I'd literally take their phones because they'd be like, this girl, like I'm texting like her, she's not doing anything, like she's not interested. I'd take their phones for them. I'd be like, give me the phone, take the phone, start texting them for them, and then like they change immediately,
Hmm.
and they want to go on a date, and they're like, dude, I think you need to write a book about this stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay. So I wrote a book and I was like, maybe I need to get on like some platforms. So I get on Instagram, get on TikTok, and I go on TikTok. I post a couple of videos. They're not getting much views. And then the first video of mine that actually went viral, that got 2 million views,
Wow.
was just like this simple, uh, how do you, what was it? It was like a secret sign that someone's attracted to you.
Okay.
And it just like goes viral overnight. I wake up the next morning, it has like 300,000 views on it, like a bunch of
Wow.
comments is like, this is not something I've experienced before. I'm sure you know the feeling too because you blew up as well,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you'll talk like more about that.
Absolutely.
But that was just like very fascinating what you told me. And then from there, it's just like people were just flooding my DMs and asking for help. And then from there, that where we're at today and going strong. And so um, I'd love to hear more about your story though, because your story is really fucking fast, really fascinating.
Yeah, man. So for me, again, high school days, and in a little bit of college just wasn't getting it right. I believed in just being yourself. You probably get that comment a lot. Screw all this stuff, guys. Just be yourself. I was a
Be
big fan of
yourself.
just being
Yes,
yourself, right? Because I didn't want to have to, change. But the thing is, it's not changing. It's more so, listen, if you're not satisfied with your results, you got to change. If you're overweight, a trainer won't tell you be yourself. He obviously sees that you're overweight. You need to change, right?
for
So
sure.
high school days, I just believed in this being, I'm a kill 'em with kindness, right? I'm a walk you to class, even though I'm gonna be late for mine. I'm gonna make sure I like you by texting you every day, plenty of compliments. So you're gonna
Yeah,
know. It won't be a mystery, right? Because here's the thing, I had a disconnect because women would friend zone me and tell me I'm this great guy, right? And the guys that they like are jerks. So I'm like, okay, you
yeah,
know what? I am a great guy, and you're right, I am. And little what they were doing is they were teaching me how to make women happy, but they weren't telling me what made them aroused. And that's almost like the underworld, right? That's where we get in trouble by telling men
yeah.
what makes them aroused because they don't want that to be known. Because then they lose like
Exactly.
they lose that, what's that word, like their the innocent complex, right? They
For
lose
sure.
that
Yeah. The
if
purity.
the purity, exactly, if guys know what really makes them go crazy, right?
Oh
Of
yeah,
course, on
for
the
sure.
surface, oh, he has to be nice and tells me I'm pretty and like that's what they tell men, and men eat that up and then go do it, and then they get called bro a month later, right?
Yeah, but that's not the stuff that makes them like emotionally react, right?
No, it's not. It's not at all. And that was the secret code for me to figure out that, right? And I said, the classic line, "Don't ask the fish, ask the fisherman." So I started asking the fishermen, "Yo, what the girls are telling me isn't working? What is working?" I started to pick up on what they were doing, and
For
at first
sure.
it was uncomfortable, but I started to pick it up, and then I found the YouTubers, Alpha Male Strategies, FedEx, all of them. Right, like, okay, this is what I need to be to listening to because these guys get chicks. That's a
Exactly.
quicker version of, sorry, going into too much detail, but what is something that the Nigerian do, maybe a couple things that were a big switch for you, like a good little 180 that he told you to do that you're kind of scratching your head, and then when you did it, like, whoa, this is actually making sense.
Yeah, so the first time, this is hilarious, dude. The first time we were in the club, uh, I was scared out of my mind, dude.
Yeah.
And I walked in there, I was like, yeah, like he told me like all this stuff. He's like, walk in there and do this. I walk in there, I'm like, this is this is way more intimidating than I thought. He's like, yeah, go up to that girl right there. And I was like, you're crazy. I don't want to do that. I'm scared. Like I had that, like I think they call it approach anxiety in the pickup world.
Oh, of course,
And
dude, because girls
yeah,
aren't the nicest sometimes when you approach them, but go on.
uh-huh. And I remember this story. This story was nuts. So I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you like more about like what he told me after that. But I was scared of my mind, and so he was like, "All right, well, like pick out the hottest girl in here, and I'll take her home." And I was like, "Yeah, right." And so I pick out like these two softball players. We found out later they're like in these hot pink dresses. They look like Barbies. And he's like, I was like, "Go get them." And he goes up to them. Like 10 minutes later, we're going home with them. And I was like, "Okay, that's where like I was like, I got to learn this stuff."
Yeah.
And so the next time we're in the club, like he told me to go up to a girl and basically have the frame in your head that she is hitting on you, that everything she's doing is to get with you. Because most guys they approach the situation with a girl and they're trying to like convince her on why they're a good option, that she should choose them. And so it's like if she has 90% of men that are doing that, they're basically saying like choose me, please choose me, like this beta male characteristics. And then you have a guy that comes up to her and is basically saying like I know what you're trying to do, like you're trying to seduce me and it's not going to work. And it's like she's like, well, like damn, like now she looks at him as a challenge. That's something that women emotionally react to as a challenge, even though it's something that if they watch the show or they're listening to us right now, they'd be like, oh, that's not true, like that wouldn't work on me. But like you put them in that situation, it's going to get them 9 times out of 10 times because they can't help but emotionally react to a challenge, to a man that's in demand, right? And I remember he told me this one line to say where if she bumps into you or something like that, or she touches you, then you got to say, whoa, that's how you do it. And it should be like, what? And you'd be like, how you hit on guys, like you touch them first, what comes second? And it's like then it goes from there. And so that's like that was one thing. Do you have anything like to add on to that or like to say about that? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
man. It's a great way to put it because most men will walk up to women and be, try to qualify themselves, right? And it's
Yeah.
always flip it on its head, you know. And for me, how I act. I think you may have made a video about this. Is because I watched a good amount before we got on the podcast. Was I try to act like I don't need him. Walk up to him. Hey, what's your name? Are you from here? Oh, that's what's up. Cool, cool. I'll walk away, right? And I won't talk to him for the most of the night. And of course,
Yeah.
as all these guys are like crowding them, and like she's like, damn, where's the guy that's not like that's left after 30 seconds of talking to me? Where's he at? Right. So
For
then
sure. Yeah.
towards the end of the night, they'll come find me. Like, oh, hey, what's up? So now, okay, she came looking for me. That's high interest. Now I can close the deal much easier than a guy that was crowding her all night. But
Oh yeah.
but I do gotta
Hmm.
try the method of like for example, they'll look at me, oh, like why are you trying to look at me like that? Like flip it onto them, where it's like I say they're hitting on me. And I'll try honestly, I'll try it this weekend. Shit, I'm going to a party in LA. Like I'll definitely I'll give it a shot and I'll text you, hey man, try that out. But what's a
Dude, I
second?
want to I want to visit LA so bad, dude. I heard the reason I have not visited California is because I feel like I'm not going to want to leave there.
Yeah, bro, it's beautiful out here, man. The weather. Only thing is, as you know, we're a blue state, and the COVID compliance is still there. However,
Hmm.
if you are cool in LA, you know all the plots. Like there's still mansion in the hills house parties, and if they get too big, legit the LAPD helicopters will come out. But for the most part, if you're plugged in
What?
LA, if you're plugged in LA, you're still having fun because you know where all the parties are, all the promoters are. And those promoters, they got to eat somehow. So that all they're going to do is take their bread, go buy an Airbnb and do the same thing, bottle service in the house. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's super dope. But if you're a nobody out there, you're not gonna have fun because you just got to know the right people. If you're a hot girl, you can work at Wendy's, of course, and still get in. But if you're a dude, you got to have that bread for a table, or
For
you know
sure.
somebody.
Yeah, for sure. What's
What's
like a
in
crazy like well like okay, like I just wanted to ask you like what a craziest experience you think you had like party was.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't that crazy. It wasn't, but I was at this party for the out in Tarzana. Tarzana is about 30 minutes from like the main part of LA, and
Okay.
it was a house party, and just like Sway Lee, Chris Brown, who else? Like, and a bunch of other like high influencers were there. I'm like, damn, like this is cool. Like I'm here with the cool kids. Like this is what LA is all about. Like being at these cool parties and networking with people. Met a couple really cute girls that I'm still in contact with today from that party. Another
That's
time
dope
I was
as
at this.
hell.
Another time at this party with do you know who Lil Mosey is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so Lil
rapper.
Mosey and his whole gang, like I was again, same thing in the Hollywood Hills, like kicking it with like, top recording artists and all the girls were there and it was just sick, like being in there. But now I'm trying to get my own clout because back then I still wasn't much, and so I'm trying to walk in and have people know who I am because that's the biggest flex.
Yeah,
And because
exactly, bro. That's
girls
where I'm
love
trying to get to
status.
as well.
Girls love status, bro. Girls love status. So that's one thing aiming for. Now, it's not just for the girls, just for myself as well. The goal is to help men much as possible. In the process of helping a bunch of men, the stats will come with it, So,
Exactly. Yeah. I was
so
at the Eagles Nest last night, or not last night, a couple nights ago,
nice,
and Tyga was actually there,
nice.
and he had this like white. It had to be a mink coat. This like white mink just draped over the side, dude. And the Eagles Nest is basically like this restaurant where you have to go up in a hotel, the Hyatt, and you go up to the very top, and it's a spinning restaurant where you can look over entire Indianapolis, like it just spins around. And he was up
Wow.
there, which was pretty cool. And I was like, damn, I never expected to see Tyga here on. It was like a Sunday night or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's just like
that's
the
what's
day,
up,
which is
brother.
pretty cool. But what were you gonna
So,
ask? I know you were gonna ask something.
yeah, man. So, I think you made a couple of videos on this, and so have I. Let's talk about confidence, right? I feel like a lot of men lack that, and I feel like by having more of it, they'll be much more successful in their dating life. So, what's one thing you'd say to a guy, or a couple things, to a guy about either gaining confidence or helping them with confidence, something like that.
Yeah, this kind of goes along like with what we were just talking about, but like basically, in order to be confident, in order to like really be successful, you have to because you were talking about like be yourself, right, earlier, and it's like in order to get success or to get confidence, you have to temporarily be somebody that you're not because success by definition is change. Like you have to change in order to become successful, and you have to change in order to become confident. And so it's like in order to become confident, like you have to do things that are something that you would probably not normally do, right? And I'm sure that's what you used to like you did to become better as well. Like you had to try some things that you were like, I don't know about this.
Hmm.
But with confidence, I feel like confidence is just basically how you see the situation. Is your perception. Like confidence is perception. So it's like if you go up to a girl and a guy is basically like talking up to her like she's on a pedestal, then he's perceiving that situation as if he's lower value than her, that
Hmm.
he doesn't deserve her, that he can't have her. And so he starts qualifying himself. And that's how most guys are conditioned to believe that.
Hmm.
They're brought up to believe like, oh, women are just over you. They're above you. They're the goddess. They're the beauty. They're the purity. And you got to basically just suck up to them in order to get them. And then it makes people's self-esteem go to zero because they literally start qualifying themselves to the girl. And so
Hmm.
it's like confidence is basically how you perceive the situation. So instead of going into a conversation where you're like, oh, this person's above me, I don't deserve to be here, I'm not worthy, instead of going in this position and be like, how can I like offer value here? Like
Hmm.
I am valuable. So it's like, what can I offer here to like really take us both and like combine us both together, connect us both together even deeper, instead of like having this, it's almost selfish to think like, oh, like I don't deserve to be here, I'm unworthy. Like you're focused so inwardly.
Hmm.
And so like I feel like a lot of confidence is like focusing on the other person and their interests as well. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the one thing I'll add too is my confidence came from my results, right? So, for example, I started boxing like 6 months ago. Okay. So my
Yeah.
confidence a bit higher that if things were to get physical, I can protect myself, right? I'm a guitar player. Okay. I've been playing that for 15 years. That's also confidence. I was able to drop out of school and start my own videography company. That's confidence, right? So
Yeah.
I tell people you got to start doing things and getting good at things because being good at things gives you confidence. I don't care what it is, bro. If you're working at McDonald's and you're behind the cashier, be the fastest cashier possible. I don't care. Like just do something and be the best at it, and that will give you that confidence, right?
Yeah.
And because that's one thing people may be able to resonate. Because resonate because some people may have a hard time with faking it till they make it. Some people may have that issue, right? Because for example, when I was in high school, I wasn't confident because nothing was going my way. Sports weren't going my way. Girls weren't going my way. Average in school, so I wasn't a confident guy. I had no reason to be confident. But then once when I started, I left high school and a couple years into college and things started going my way with girls, that's when I started becoming more confident. And that's where I started seeing myself as a catch. And that's when exponentially saw much more success with life and with women. So I tell people you just gotta get good at something. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I love that, honestly. It's just like because I feel like your story resonates with mine so perfectly just because it's like in high school,
It
sports
wasn't
weren't going
demand.
my way,
Yeah.
dude. Girls were not going my way either. Grades weren't going my way either. And it's like I like for the first 20 years of my life, I felt like it was just I was just served a platter of L's.
Yeah.
That's like what it was for the first 20 years of my life. And it's like a lot of people in that position are like it's part some people can commit suicide,
Yeah.
some people kill themselves, and it's like it's sad. But it's just like, like something in me was just like, dude, like just keep pushing forward and keep going, dude. He's like, eventually you're gonna find something that works. And as soon as you find what works a little bit, like that's what gives you hope. That's what gives you confidence to actually keep going and to
Uh,
make more of it. But like, yeah, dude, like you have to like get good at something like and keep figuring out what it is, like keep figuring out more to it, adding more to it. There's something called like the pain period as well. I don't know if you've heard about that. Have you read The Game by Neil Strauss?
I had the book to my left and I didn't finish it because go on, finish your story first.
But in his book, he talks about the pain period, and I love that because he was just like, okay, so like people when they start something, they tend to just give up right away because they feel like they're putting in 10 times the effort and getting back like little to no
Oh,
result.
for sure. Yeah.
But it's like over time, that's where a lot of people quit and give up. But it's like if you just keep pushing through that pain period, eventually the results are going to come and that they're going to pay way bigger dividends later. For example, like TikTok. Like I don't know if you blew up right away on TikTok. Like it might have been one video that made you blow up like crazy, like out of nowhere. But it's like all those videos before that, like those were kind of like an investment where you're not getting much views on them, you're not getting many comments on them. But it's like one day, like you make something that just goes crazy, and then those videos finally get the how do you say it,
The
like
attention.
the attention, yeah,
Yeah.
the attention that they deserved. Does that make sense? Like, what
Uh,
do you think about that?
yeah. So pain, man, that it's funny you mentioned that. So for me, I like how okay, young life, the man, from like age 8 to high school's 14. So 8 to 13, the man, right? Best on the field, captain. I was the shit. Okay. High
Yeah,
school, all L's, a little bit of college, more L's. So that I have that underdog mentality and the chip on my shoulder. And that's what gives me a drive, right? Because that underdog mentality will push you way further than being on top your whole life, right?
yeah,
Because for me, that underdog, man, that just gives me everything. Because in high school, I was just known as like the skinny, funny black kid, right? And then when they see me in person,
yeah,
I'm like almost 6'2", and I'm much more built, muscular wise, and they see me on TikTok on their For You page, and millions of likes. Now I'm like it's switched, like now I was the little homie, now I'm the big homie. You know what I mean?
for sure. Yeah, that's
And
exactly how it was for me too.
yeah, I was a
Yes,
little homie.
bro.
Now I'm the big homie, and it's a great to see the tables turn. I feel like as long as you put in the work, tables will always turn. That girl that didn't want you back in high school, bro. If you become the best version of yourself, she's coming back around for seconds. She
Oh
and
yeah,
like she's coming back around. So for me, I definitely resonate with the pain period, bro. It took me. I was monetized 3 days ago. It took me 4 years to get monetized on YouTube. 4 years. I was making
really.
a video a week for 2 years straight and got like maybe 600 subscribers. And then I did reaction videos because they're much easier to pump out every single day, opposed to a full
Yeah,
comedy skit with my friends and stuff.
yeah.
So it finally worked, so I'm finally just seeing the fruits of my labor, but I can't wait to start seeing YouTube money. I'm like, damn, I'm really making money off of videos I made 2-3 years ago, you know so that
Yeah,
pain
dude.
period's everything.
Finally.
Pain period's
Yeah.
everything, man. If you can outlast it, here's the thing, I tell people this: if you can fall in love with the process more than the end result, you'll win. Because how I see it is, I don't care about my views on TikTok. I know every video I make is very impactful. So I just focus on uploading every day. Do what you can. The TikTok algorithm, you can't guess it. There's no secret remedy. Like I don't care. There's nothing right you can do just but by posting. And by you keep posting every day, you go viral, and then all those last 20 videos pick up too, right? Because
Oh yeah,
people
for
see one
sure.
viral video. Okay, what else does this guy got? Go, oh, there's more. There's more. It happens all the time, right?
It just
So
streams into your other videos.
absolutely. So the pain period is very important because you got to be able to love the process of everything opposed to just the end result. If you focus on the end result, you won't have enough gas in the tank to go to the end. You won't have it because the process of just showing up every day and doing it every day, that's what's the best. That's the
Oh
best.
yeah, dude. I so feel that, dude. And it's like I feel the thing like you were talking about in high school. It's like, like you felt like you were the little dog, right? And it's like back in high school, like all these other people, like all these athletes that were going to Big Ten schools or
Yeah.
whatever, like
World
they're getting all the
famous.
hype.
Hmm.
And it's like, and then it's like you look now and you're just like, I don't know where they're at. They just
True.
fell off the map.
True. And it's funny, man, to see because in high school, my biggest goal, I've even talked with this before, was to go to the NFL. I was so set. Like I would even skip lunch to go in the field and like work on footwork. But I was a great athlete. The issue was my size. I graduated high school like 145, 150. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Unless I was running like a 4.240, I wasn't gonna get any eyes on me as a top athlete, right?
Yeah.
So walking off that football field my senior year, not with zero offers, going, damn, like all this was for nothing. But those kids that went D1 and went in, dude, only like one or two in like not just my high school, like the whole area that I knew made it, and either they made it and got cut or they're still on the team, but they're not a standout. They're like a third stringer.
In the
So
NFL.
crazy because it's like, damn, I wanted to be those kids so bad. And now those kids either got cut at the NFL, got injured in D1, or they're like maybe they're on the team, but they're a third stringer. They're probably not mad. They're still getting paid 450 grand just to be on like a third stringer. But
For
most
sure.
people didn't make it. And I much rather quit in high school than touch success like that and be the man. And then now you come back to your city working at a dive bar and people go, bro, what happened? You know,
Yeah.
that's
Exactly. Or like the athlete that was like, thought he was like the hottest and like he tears his ACL or whatever in college and then like he goes works a regular job and he's talking forever about like, oh yeah, I did this, I won the Heisman or I won the Indy Star or whatever.
Yep.
But like, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing now? Like it's all about
Exactly.
now. And so it's like I got people. I don't know if this happened to you, but it's like I got people. I found this to be the funniest thing about this was like after you blow up finally, oh, everyone comes back.
Mhm.
Everyone's back in your DMs, just like, hey, like, how you doing, bro? Good to see you. I'm just like, man, come on.
Yeah. You'll
And
see
it's
it.
just like I'm just and so it's like it's just amazing. Like, just one night can switch, but like even for you and me, like this wasn't really an overnight success because like this took years, dude. Like this took 20 years of L's and just making content and like figuring this out to get here. And then people are telling you, oh, they got lucky or whatever, and
No
I'm just
luck,
like,
bro.
whatever about that.
Lots of hard work. And for me, um, speaking of a book, right? You mentioned, wait, is it written or is it already like written and everything?
Yeah, I got it right here actually. I was checking it out earlier. I was gonna make a TikTok
What's it
video
called?
about
What's it
something with
called?
it. Waking the core of man. It's kind of
Waking
backwards on the
the
screen.
core of, I can read it, Waking the Core of Man. So, wow, man. You know what's funny? Man, that's dope. So, if you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but how many sales have you had in that book? I'm so curious.
It's actually very close to a bestseller, and so an international bestseller, I think it needs 50,000 sold, and I'm almost there. And
You
so like that's
almost
like,
sold 50,000 books?
yeah,
Oh, dude, what the? Wow. And this, okay, is this all the strength of just TikTok?
with TikTok alone, yes, and like a little bit of YouTube and then my website, but that's really about it.
Dog, dude. Hey guys, you gotta give it up, bro. Like most people who do these books, right, who are bestsellers, like they're usually they buddy up with big like for example, they'll buddy up with Steve Harvey, like they'll do the whole media run, right, where they link up with the biggest people in the industry, and you're just not to bring it down, but just you're just promoting on TikTok.
Yeah,
Like you're not cool with Gary Vee, you're not cool with these A-listers, right? It's just off the strength of your own brand and almost did 50,000 sales. Dude, that's
yeah,
incredible, bro. That's something to be like that's something that like I'd say one less than 1% of the world can do, honestly.
I appreciate that, bro. Like, I like people that actually like see that grind and like they're like, okay, like I respect that because like that's just how I am too. Where it's like people get jealous of people that are winning.
Yes, I take motivation
Why are you
from
getting jealous of them? It's like look at them and like take note of that. Like, what are they doing that's working? Like success leaves clues of what Tony Robbins says,
it. Yep.
and it's
That's
like
insane, dude. Wow. Go
it's
ahead.
like TikTok though. Like all I have to do, like once a month probably, is I'll just literally like take my book and then put it for like 3 seconds of like this is like straight from my book, and then I'll put it back down and go like continue with the video. I got people commenting like, "What's the book? What's the book? What's the book?" Linking it's link in my bio, and then literally like it goes from it was like I think it was like when I first started TikTok, it was like ranked like 3,000 or 4,000, so like it wasn't like getting really anything at all. And then I go on TikTok, and then we start actually making like viral content, and I talk about my book a little bit, and it goes from ranked like 2 or 3,000 to top 50. And I was like, okay, like this actually kind of works. And so like I didn't want to be the person that just like goes viral on TikTok but isn't making money because you see all these models, like models with millions of followers that are going broke because they don't know how to actually like get money from
Monetize.
their
Yeah.
followers, like make like turn their followers into dollars, as they say. And so I was like, I didn't want to just learn how to like be viral or like know the content, but like I want to know like how to actually make money off of it.
Wow, man, that's what's crazy about that. It's like that inspired me a lot because imagine someone from your high school that saw you as like this little puny weak beta male. Hey, Selna just sold almost 50,000 copies of his book on being a better man. Like they go what? Like their eyes will pop out their freaking skull. Like what does Selna know about confidence? Like he was like the scrawniest white kid out of our school. What does he know? And they see
Yeah, for
your
sure.
name on Amazon or wherever, and like top this, top that. Like, like, dude, that's incredible. And here's the thing: I want to write a book, but the thing that I want to incorporate, my goal is to get big on YouTube and start being more and more well known.
Yeah.
But I want to know how it's like to date with status because
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
dating with status is a totally different ballgame. For example, a girl may make you wait sauna 3, 4 dates till she lets you smash. Her favorite entertainer, 30 seconds, right? So
Oh
that's
yeah, for
so
sure.
so it's like I want to know like how I want to be able to experience dating when you have more status, right? Because I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Do you know who Austin Dunham is?
Austin Dunham. Who is he? I've heard the last name Dunham.
Okay, hold on. Let me I'll just pop him up on Instagram for so you can see real quick. So you get a feel what he looks like.
But
Okay.
are you a fan of Drake at all?
Yeah, I am.
You know that Migos song, "Walk It Like I Talk It," and
Yeah,
Drake's
yeah.
line in there
Yeah.
is, "First night she's gonna let me smash because we grown."
Yeah, yeah, true.
That's dating with status right
So
there.
that's Austin Dunham, okay?
I feel like I do know who that is.
So basically
I've seen him
he basically
before.
has two brands. Calisthenics, which is like people working out at a jungle gym, right? Like
Yeah.
body weight stuff, and then red pill content. So
Okay.
I did a podcast with him. It was a great podcast. I posted a photo of him on my I did take a little picture, right?
Yeah.
Three of the most attractive girls that I follow that also follow me back because I'm not no fan, right? Swiped up, tell him I said hi. Now, mind you, I don't feel like on a handsome level, we're much different. He may be a 9, I may be a 10. But the fact that they went to his profile, saw a blue check mark, and saw lots of followers, that was one of the reasons I know it is, right? If it was in
Well,
reverse,
yeah, dude. Like if
right?
they see the blue check mark, they're just like,
Yeah.
"You got a blue check
So
mark."
it's like, dude, and this is three of the most attractive girls that I follow, right?
Yeah.
One of like top 10, they swiped
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
imagine when that I get the blue check and the followers. I'll have those girls coming to me instead of me going to them, they're coming to me, right? And I want to experience that level of dating so I can talk about guys, you got to work on yourself because dude, the your SMV will explode when you have status.
SMV,
Like
yes. You've been
because
watching Alpha Male Strategies. I
yeah,
know
bro.
it.
Like, for those who don't know, SMV is its sexual market value, right? Now, guys, let me be honest with you.
Yeah.
You make 40K a year, you're average looking, SMV is low. But here's the thing though. When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, it doesn't really matter. Girls will still sleep around with guys who are broke when they're young. Okay. So have fun. When you start getting 27, 28, 29, like what you make a year matters.
Yeah.
It really starts to matter, right?
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
so you need to find a way to either get status or become the best man possible so you can have a great life of abundance, right? Because you know how crappy you'd be when you're 27, 28 and you get no play because girls don't see you long term because you don't make a certain amount of income, you know?
Yeah. hmm Especially, oh yeah, dude, for sure. Like it matters so much, dude. Like sexual market value. It's just like the blue check mark and like the social, like this, just the status, dude. The social proof, like almost like that's almost everything you need at that point. Like almost, you still need like the game, like you still need to have the talking, the conversation skills. But like, if you got the blue check mark, dude, it's just like the DMs that you're getting.
Dude,
You
you're
get DMs from
different,
like
bro.
Ariana Grande, Rihanna at
Exactly.
that point,
And,
just like,
and
hey, like
even
saw your
guys,
video.
and even guys will DM you trying to kick it, right? For example, like let's just say another dude that's super poppin', wants DMs you to come to his table, come to kick with him and all these influencer girls. Like you're gonna get way more opportunities to expand your social circle as a man when you become, status wise. So that's something that I'm striving for. But on my script here, I have you made a video on it too, and I can talk about it as well. What are some first date mistakes guys can make when they're out here trying to, date these women? Well, what's a mistake they can make or mistakes? Sorry.
Yeah, I actually made a video about this yesterday.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
it
sure.
was
Okay,
about
cool.
like literally about a dating mistake, and I was coaching this dude. So this dude's a multimillionaire.
Oh
Of
wow.
course, I can't say his name, obviously,
Yeah,
like
of
this is
course.
privacy, but multimillionaire dude drives a Ferrari, goes on a date with this girl. He only lasts one date with her, and then he ends up calling me because he's like, because people don't come into our lives, me and you, because they're doing well. They're coming to our videos probably because they need help with attraction dating, right?
Facts.
They're struggling, or that you could get like the 1% that's there to actually just learn to improve the quality of their life, even if it's going well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But this dude drives a Ferrari. He goes on this date, and I'm like, give me like as much detail as you possibly
Yeah.
can, because a
Dump
lot
it
of
out.
people they come on my TikTok and they're like, oh, you just need money and then you're going to have it, right? I'm like,
Nah,
well, this is an example of one that just doesn't, money doesn't work everything that you want. Money does a lot of things, but
does.
it can't do everything.
True. He can get
And
you in the
here's like
door.
a good example of that. Yeah, so like it's a great tool. He goes out to dinner and he has Ferrari keys, and he he puts them on the table while he's sitting there at table, face up with the Ferrari logo, just so she could see it. Like puts them down in front of her, like as he's sitting down, like acting like it's just totally casual, just because like he wants her to see that he has a Ferrari.
Mhm.
Because he's like, oh, like if she sees I have a Ferrari, then she's gonna like me better. I'm just like, no, dude, what are you doing? Like, she's like, oh, like he has a Ferrari, but he must be overcompensating for something. If he's trying to show off, he's trying to show off his assets like this. He's trying to show off his money like this. Like, girls find it, if you have a nice house, a nice car, a nice anything, girls find it so much more attractive if like you let them find out for themselves. Like if you have a nice house and like you don't bring them back to your house for the first time and maybe like the second or third date, they see you have a beautiful house. They're just like, he didn't even brag about this. Like, I kind of want him now. And I can't like explain it to the full extent, but like I think you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
with that?
So to be honest, man, for me, when I go to a date, I naturally empty my pockets out. Because I just don't like having this feeling. Because when you sit down, now your tighter jeans are now it's smushed against your thighs. So I get where
Yeah,
he was
for
coming
sure.
from.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from, but it's tough, man. Because okay, in that scenario, I can't put it fully past them because I take my freaking Mazda keys and I freaking put them face up because I don't want them in my pockets while I'm sitting down. But
No, but he told me he did that on purpose though. Like that was like the thing of
okay,
this.
yeah,
I was like, why'd you do that?
yeah. You know what? To be honest, bro, I feel like okay, I don't know this guy. I can't speak for him. I didn't hear all the information, but I feel like there
Yeah.
has to be more to the date than just the Ferrari keys. There had to be some more probably maybe neediness or she can sense. Here's the thing: women like knowing you're a high value guy. So if he may have said some dumb things like, oh yeah, I don't date around, I'm only just, I want to talk to one girl, this stuff, trying to he thinks he's qualifying himself to her, but in reality it's not, because girls like men who are pre-selected, right? So if you're
Yeah,
saying
for sure.
I just talked to you and you're the only person I like and I'm feeling right now, she may go, well, I'm fighting for a spot no one wants. That's not cool. So that could have been a part of it, but I don't think that was his complete downfall. Because like I feel like if especially if they met online, she saw I guarantee that Ferrari's on his Instagram page, so she probably knew,
Probably, yeah.
she already knew, right, he has a nice car. But back to your point,
Yeah.
you guys, you can't. That's why I tell girls, I tell guys, don't talk so much with girls. Try to have her do most of the talking, because you don't want to talk too much about yourself. You mentioned a great point. Have them find out. For example, I'm signed to a modeling agency. I'll be on one day on my story. You'll see me say, photo shoot with Absolute Vodka. They'll swipe up. You're a model? Yeah. Like I did doing it for a year or so. Oh, that's so cool. Way more turned on, as if I would have told them, because they're
Exactly.
girls are so used to guys overqualifying. Hey, I do this. I know. Oh, Chris Brown. That's the bro. I can call him right now. Like they're so used to guys overqualifying themselves. So when a guy doesn't and they find out, way more of a turn on.
Exactly, bro. And like that, I get what you're saying too, with like the entire situation too. 'Cause it's like, but it's like I think like people have patterns. So it's like if they're qualifying themselves that hard to somebody, you're like, okay, then like it's coming out in other ways too. Like it's coming out in the way you're talking to her. It's coming out in the way that you're doing things, like probably buying everything for her. And so it's like if you're doing that, I'm like, okay, there's way more that you're obviously doing, because it's not just that at that point. Because like beta male, like if you see a beta talk to a girl, like you see that they're doing a lot of stuff like wrong, right? It's not just like the one thing. So you know what I'm saying?
Got you. And also, another first date tip is, guys, you gotta don't have the mindset is of how can I impress this girl. Think of, how can she impress me? Because you have that mindset, you're way more laid back. When you're so, oh, I hope she likes me, I hope she likes me, you're gonna start being a circus, you know what I mean? Of a whole, you're gonna try to be too funny, be too anything, right? Too generous, too kind. But when you sit back, oh, hope this girl can impress me and hope that I like her, you kind of put you much more relaxed. So you're not doing too much, because girls, their brain, They're just AMS said it best. Girls take you on dates to disqualify you. What are
Yeah,
you gonna do to disqualify yourself tonight? Right? Because there's so many
exactly.
freaking options, dude. So many guys. So it's like they could care less if this first date doesn't work. You
Oh
know?
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, they have so many people. Like they did a study with Tinder where this dude made a fake profile. I don't know if you saw this video. I put it on my TikTok, but this dude made a fake profile for Tinder with like just hot chicks on the profile. He made three of them, and he's like, okay, he's like, let's see like how many messages they get per day on average. And you think like 10, 15. These girls were getting like 80 to 100. These profiles were getting 80 to 100 messages a day. And I was like, that's insane. So it's like, like what's going to separate you from all these other guys that are messaging and sliding in? You know what I'm saying? And especially like first tips, dude. Like I love what you're saying about the frame of making it seem like she's hitting on you. And I don't know what you do for like your first dates, but it's like me specifically. I try to be like more like casual, more like laid back, where it's like I'll go like have a conversation first. Like we'll go for like tea or coffee.
Hmm.
Usually coffee for me. I'm not really a tea fan,
Hmm.
but some people the English and all that. They love their tea, and so that's what I recommend to them is like go for like some tea or something like that at first, and just have a conversation with them and just see what they're about. It's like, why are you going to invest all this money if you don't even connect with them to begin with, right?
Absolutely. It's funny. I had a girl on here named Morgan May. Great girl, by the way. Not shitting on her or anything. It's just she's older now.
Yeah.
So you to qualify for her time, she won't do coffee. She won't do anything that's 10, 15 bucks, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
older women, right? And I get where she's coming from. I told her I just don't personally care. If I saw you out and about, hey, let's grab a drink. To her, that may not get her. You may have to take her to a freaking steakhouse for her attention. Because her mindset
Oh
is
yeah, for
it
sure.
takes me 3 hours to get ready. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Like I'm you take me to a drink shows low effort, which it is low effort. I know it's low effort because I just freaking met you, bitch. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to blow a bag. But here's the thing: if a guy's super successful, spending 250 on a night is nothing. That is chump change, right? But for me, that's like half of my checking account right now, and I have, of course, more of my savings, but it's like that's 50% of my checking. I ain't trying to blow 50% on a girl that I can't even get a little beach at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. So it's like, so sometimes guys, only take girls out within your means. Never try. If you tell a girl, hey, let's go grab a drink, and she goes, oh, let's go get this expensive restaurant, be in your frame, say, hey, listen, that's just not what I'm trying to do. If you want, you can go with somebody else. Like also it goes back to not being in scarcity. Women hate guys that are in scarcity, man. They just don't like.
Oh
You can turn a
yeah,
girl
for
off by
sure.
being by like, for example, if I say a girl bails on you, you go, what? Why? Like I got so ready for this, and like, why are you doing this to me? Do you think that's gonna turn her off or on? You know?
Way
Like,
off, dude. It's gonna be drier than the Sahara Desert.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and guys generally think that this is messed up. I think it holds true. Girls don't really care about our feelings.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care. Like that's why they commit to 10 plans and bail on 9 of them. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care you
Yeah.
washed your car, got a new outfit, maybe even got your teeth whitened at the freaking dentist, all for this night. They don't care. They will bail because think about women, they're naturally in abundance. They're naturally, and also here's another thing they know about men. They can bail on you and you'll come back the next day with a good morning, beautiful. They know there's no consequences. So why respect you if they know there's no consequences?
Oh yeah, you're just training them to walk all over you at that point. When you're just like, oh, like you bailed on me, I'm still gonna pursue you. She's like, well, now I know I don't need to date you because I'm getting. Why would I buy the cow when I'm getting the milk for free, right? If we're
True.
gonna use some metaphors, so
Exactly. And I made a video, and this was probably my most recent viral esque video, I guess. Not too crazy, only like 30,000 likes. It was like, okay, women value attention number one from men. I don't care what they say. That's their number one thing. If they can milk attention out, they'll get it. Men is sex. Okay. So if you're texting her every single day and giving her FaceTimes and always sending her memes and TikToks, that's enough. That's enough for her. That's sex for her. She's already taken care of. Now you want sex, but now
yeah,
you want sex. The problem is she's already won the exchange. She's already got all your attention. That's why I advise guys to text her for availability only, right? Maybe send her a meme throughout the week, just when you're thinking about her, maybe if you want to, but save all the talk for the date. Because happening is I made another video or I made a chart. Some guys are legit texting a girl 40 hours a week.
Oh
Legit.
yeah, dude, it's
40 hours,
insane.
right? And I now text me for 3. But guess what? She
Yeah,
bailed on you, she bailed on me. That's fine, but you invested 40 hours, I invested 3,
yeah.
right? So it's like
Hmm.
you gotta limit your here's the thing, your non-sexual attention is gold. Like that's like your currency in this world to women is your non-sexual attention, right? Because girls
Yeah,
will
for
talk to
sure.
10 dudes, get attention from 4, and maybe go out with 2 and smash 1. Legit. Like that's like their ratios.
Yeah.
So they like, of
Hmm.
course, they like sex. They love it as much as we do, but they're much more selective with who they sleep with. Well, men, well, for me, I have standards. I like fucking at least a 7, 8, 9, or a 10. I do not dip. I won't even get up. I won't even stand up for a 1 through 5, right? But some men, they can
Yeah,
fucking
definitely
jump.
not.
So it's like, so for women, you gotta like your non-sexual attention, like that's your sex. That's what you have to withhold. We think about that.
Yeah, dude. I think it's like the what you said was just basically perfect, dude. Like that is, I'm just like I agree with everything you said there. It's just like because there are guys out there that are literally texting girls 40 hours a week, dude. I'm like, do you not have a life? Like,
because
do
they
you not
think
have a purpose, a
because
mission?
they think that's what it takes to keep them interested is like by constantly staying engaged. Like, no.
Yeah, it's like that's what we're going back to the beginning. Like, that's what they're conditioned to believe. It's just like, oh, like if I just give her everything, then she's gonna love me. But they're just like, no, because like the way that I feel like the way the female mind is like she basically subconsciously saying like, okay, like he's giving me all his attention, but does he not have a life? Like, does he not like have a purpose, a mission? And like one of the key things like to being like an alpha male is the way I understand it. Have you ever seen the movie Cinderella Man?
I have not, but
The
continue.
the boxing movie?
Oh, ooh, I actually may have now. But go on. I forgotten.
So like what happens in this movie is that this guy he's married to his wife obviously, and this he starts training in boxing, he becomes a really really good boxer, right?
Mhm.
And this dude basically he basically like hates on his town, right? He basically calls his town like you guys are weak, you guys suck, like you guys are anything. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. And so he felt like it was his purpose to go beat this guy in a boxing ring because this guy was a champion. This guy, we found out later that he's killed like 3 people in the ring. Like this dude's like legit, right? And so like and he's like, well, I have to fight him now. And the wife's like, no, 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 don't, like, you can't fight him. You're going to die. He's killed 2 or 3 people in the ring at this point. And he's like, no, like, I have to do that. And she's like, well, if you go fight him, I'm going to leave you.
Oh,
And so, like, at that choice, like, the way that I understand alpha males is like, if you had to make a decision between your purpose and love, that he's going to have to choose his purpose. and and so that's basically what he did in the movie is that he's like I have to go fight, like it's my purpose, it's my duty for my people, for my town, and if you leave me I understand that, but I gotta, that's not what he says, but like that's basically what his mindset is. And so he's like, well, I'm gonna go fight. And so she leaves, and he's like in the ring about warming up in this big stadium, and then guess who comes back? His wife. And she's like, all right, like, you know what, like I understand, like I love you, I can't, like you mean the world to me. And she's like, go beat him. And he beat him. And that's basically like the summary of the movie. And so it's like the same, like I remember Jason Capital told this example, it's brilliant. It's basically like if a girl like between purpose, like I'm sure you've heard about purpose and mission, like alpha male strategies talks about all the time. People are talking about purpose, mission, be all your purpose, whatever. And it's like, say like somebody's going to go off to war, and then his female is like, well, I don't want you to go to war, like you could die. And he's like, okay, I'll stay home. Like in that moment she's happy because she's like, oh, I have him now. But it's like she's gonna wake up the next day, roll over and look at him, and she's gonna be like, you pussy, like you didn't go fight, like you didn't do this just for me. So it's like what we were talking about earlier, where it's like women say they want something, but then they react to something else. So it's like if you actually did that, stayed home, she's gonna look at you as weak because you didn't go actually pursue your purpose. And so like in the moment she may be mad at you, but she's going to come back because she's going to have respect for you because you actually chose your life, like yourself, over her. And that's what actually turns women on sexually. A lot of people don't understand that. What do you think about that?
yeah, that's tough for men to swallow, right? Because what women say versus what women do are different. I
Yeah.
hate bad boys. Then she goes and sleeps with one and puts you in the friend zone. right?
Yeah.
And it's tough for men because like obviously the woman is the prize in their head. She's the prize. So whatever the prize requests of him, that's what he will do. But in reality, most of the time, if you do the opposite, not all the time, but you know that because you can obviously think of different scenarios where it's wrong, but you got to put your purpose first, and you got to put yourself first because she'll put herself before you every single time. Don't like she
Yeah.
like so you got to put yourself first. Like perfect example. Hey, you know what? You're a great guy, but let's just be friends, right? No, I want to. Well, you're just this. You're this, or you're why not? You go, okay. Well, I put myself first. Like I desire romantic relationships with women, not platonic. This was a romantic thing, and you turned it to platonic. It's not how it works. I'm a key. I'm a piece. Like kick rocks, right? She
Yeah.
mad in the moment, but you know what? I respect that man because he put himself first, and he didn't let me use him as this emotional support shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing, like just piggybacking off of that, is like
Yeah.
it's like relationships and dating and attraction. Everything you do in life is a negotiation, and so it's like especially the friend zone, dude. Like basically, like there's this invisible negotiation going on where you're sitting across the table from her, basically, and she's like, and you're like, my terms are, I want to date you. I can't be around you and not kiss you, not touch you. I can't be around you and just be friends with you and just just have this barrier between us, basically, where there's no romance. And in her terms across the table, she's like, well, screw that.
Mhm.
I want your attention for free. I
And
want you to
no,
listen to
yeah,
me talk about other guys in front of your face, even though I know you're pissed about that and you
yeah,
wouldn't like that, because I want your attention, and you get absolutely nothing. And if you don't do that, then we're not friends. I'm like, that's not even a friend,
true.
And so like it's a negotiation. And so it's like a lot of guys just submit to her terms, and they're just like, okay, like maybe if I'm friends with her, then we'll
One
eventually
day,
date. She's gonna wake up one day and be like, oh, where was he's been here my entire life? That never happened. And so it's
you
like you
know,
have a better chance of going and respecting yourself and walking away and letting her be like, at least he respected himself enough to know that that was total crap.
and
And
also
she's gonna be like, I kind of like
another
that.
thing to add piggyback off of that. I made a video, but it's freaking under review for the past. It'd be 24 hours and like I don't know 8 hours. But anyway, I
TikTok,
said
man, just loves you but hates you.
no. It's okay. So this is my point off of that. You must be her first choice. If she friend zones you and you still want her, you're telling me you're cool with her choosing 3 or 4 other relationships before you, and you're the fifth. No, that's not how it works. I told guys you have to be Cam Newton on the stage with Adam Silver holding up that number 1 jersey. That has to be you. You have to be on stage with the number 1 holding the jersey. If that's not you, don't date her. Because
Yeah, for sure.
because what happens is when those other guys act right, you're out because you weren't her first choice, right? And
Yeah,
it's hard though because you like this girl, I get it, and she can try to sell you with her words. Oh my God, no, don't you weren't first because I wasn't ready. Like she'll do her best to give you the sexiest phrase as to why she didn't choose you first. But you
just
gotta stand
straight
on
up
your purpose.
manipulation.
Yeah, you gotta stand on your purpose, dude. Like if you're not her first pick, you can't date her. Like if you're dating her, say on the third or fourth date, she just goes ghost and you see her with another guy, you can keep her as a side piece if you want to, but you can never make her your main chick because she chose another dude. She legit weighed her options and goes, I want this one over this one. Right. And then you're gonna go
Exactly.
back to her and be her boyfriend again after she chose another man before you. That's a men have to get better with being they have to set non-negotiables with themselves. Most men are very fickle with women because especially if they find them really attractive, you have to set non-negotiables with yourself as a man because if especially if you tell her,
Exactly.
hey, if you go to that guy or you leave me, we're done, and then she does the same thing over again, and you stay, she knows you're not a man of your word. She'll do it again and again because she knows you're weak and you can't stand up to her.
Exactly, bro. Like how as a man, how do you expect a woman to put you first when you can't put yourself first?
Hmm.
And like that's like one thing like men get wrong is like they can't put themselves first, and they fall for they live they're okay with second place. I'm like, I don't play this game not to lose. I play it to win. Especially like with TikTok and everything. It's like a lot of people, like they start gaining followers, start gaining attention, then they start playing not to lose. They start playing not to lose their following. I'm like, I'm playing to win. Like I want to grow as much as possible. Like I want the blue tick, the verified symbol, and like that's what I'm going for, you know. So it's like if I got people, me and you, like it both. If we got people that don't like what we say, it's like I don't care.
It's all
I'm still
good,
gonna keep
man.
going.
And it's unfortunate, man, that this is considered like controversial. Like things we're saying are considered controversial. Crazy, right?
Yeah,
Men
it's
go through this
insane.
every single day, right? And some men even end their whole life over these type of scenarios. But yet this is controversial. Like honestly, if we make content saying, "Hey guys, make sure you take her where she wants to go and make sure that she's happy. If you want, put the car in park, walk around the car, open her door, let her know you care about her. Then at the restaurant, stop her, go, hold on, pull her chair. Dude, women we'd be kings. Look at these beautiful kings. Like, yes, like this is how women should be. Like we'd be praised by women. Praised. But would they want to sleep with us? No, they wouldn't. But
No,
they, but
and we would be getting views. No,
yeah, but women would love our content. Would be considered as like, oh, like, and girls would tag their boyfriends that they're currently having sex with. You should do this. But there's the thing, he didn't get you doing that.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing,
You start
dude.
doing that, she's gonna be turned off.
It's crazy. Like it's also I was watching. Do you watch the Fresh and Fit podcast?
No, I don't. Are they
Dude, I'm gonna
good?
send you, dude. They're incredible. Like reason why I think they're incredible is okay. Do you know the Roommates podcast?
I've heard of them.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the roommates are a bit more PC, right? Like they're RP truth, but they don't say RP. They just and they basically they don't want to be looked at as bad, so they don't. But the Fresh and Fit podcast, they'll have girls on the channel and like live like in their apartment and go, "You're delusional." Right? It's like they really push the needle. But one thing they mentioned that made so much sense to me is they'll always ask women, "Okay, what do we look for in a guy?" And they said all these things, and they go, "Okay, was your ex that way?" And their face goes cold
yeah.
because what they say versus what they do different, right?
Hmm.
I want to be tall and successful in this. Okay, was your tall ex tall? No. Was your ex successful? Not really, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's funny, but that's why you got to look at the what they do, not really what they say. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I have two things to actually say about that. The first, have you heard of RSD group? RSD Tyler, RSD,
Hmm.
whatever, Real Social Dynamics you
Hmm.
have.
Hmm.
And so like I don't really like I like them, but like I'm not like crazy about them. A lot of people are just crazy about RSD.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I did get from RSD Tyler though was that he said it was on his Blueprint Success program or whatever, and he was talking about he said if a girl basically like she's complaining that like all these guys are assholes and everything and that but then she's like she still continues to sleep with people just like that. He's like, well, like how do you have to act to get her just like that?
Yeah.
And like that's super controversial. Like people will be like, oh no, like f you, you suck for saying that. But I'm just like, it's the truth. Like don't look at what people say, look at their actions, right? And it's like I get so many people in my DMs that I coach and everything that are just like, well, like how do I know if she likes me? She's making excuses, like she's saying like she can't go out because her family's saying this, or she can't go out because she's got whatever. I'm just like, look at her actions. Because if a girl wants you,
Oh, dude,
oh dude,
fact.
nothing's stopping her from getting you, dude. She is going to force herself into you, whether like you like it or not. Like if she wants you, but like if she doesn't want you, she's gonna be making excuses. And so it's like don't put this false reality, like don't cloud your vision with this, oh, like I like her, maybe she likes me, but maybe there is something going on. Like if she likes you, dude, like she is going to find a way to get you no matter what.
I agree, and I made a video on this, and it's crazy. I'm surprised it did as well as it did because it's such a basic thing. It's like, dude, you shouldn't. Women shouldn't be too difficult. Ask their availability. You see them by first or second date, you're in the bedroom, right? If it's fifth
Yeah.
and sixth date and there's still no bedroom fun, well, look deeper. Like you got to figure out like a girl should want to rip your clothes off as bad as you want to rip her clothes off. Like that should be the
Yes.
dynamic. That should be the dynamic. And if she doesn't want to, then it goes back to she just likes your attention, and you got to figure that out because some girls will camouflage it. Basically they'll make out with you. They'll let you maybe let they'll let you touch them a little bit, But when it's too crazy, okay, like relax, like they'll stop it, right? So you gotta figure that out, man. Like girls shouldn't be too difficult, and if they are, it's because she's not feeling you that way. Because trust me, one thing, one RP truth that I had to swallow was girls are different with every single guy. A girl that took you 6 dates to, you know what? Some dude did it in an hour.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, dude, that's just you got me thinking too. That's just hilarious, just because like I just have so much to say about that. That's just so funny. 'Cause I'm just getting like memories thinking about that. But oh yeah, one thing I did want to add because we're talking about like the first date kind of thing, right? The first date tips. I want to hear your opinion
Yeah,
on this. So a lot of guys, like it'll be going well, like they're doing everything right, but they have this. Remember we talked about scarcity a few minutes ago?
absolutely.
You know, like
Yeah,
these guys have this scarcity mindset of like, oh, like she's my only option. So if I lose her, then I'm alone. Then I have nothing. Then
yeah,
I'm not going to get anything back. And it's like it's going well, and then as soon as they tell themselves, I don't want to lose her. I don't want her to go away. Then everything switches from abundance to scarcity, and like all of your words, all of your actions are coming from a place of fear that you're going to lose her. You see what I'm saying?
absolutely. That's why I tell guys, you got to get on all three dating apps, bro. You got to be able to, and I'll also be able to approach girls in public because you got to use everything you got. Girls, even if they're a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, their DMs are still more. Like, dude, so I'm 6'1", 6'2", decent beard, cool hair, good style. I've maybe right now two girls in my DMs and they're both fours and fives, right? Fours and
Yeah.
fives. And I
Mhm.
consider myself on the SMV scale, in my opinion, 8 to a 10, depending on who's looking at me, right?
Yeah.
And girls, and I'll have crazy amount of girls in my DMs. So imagine a guy that's like 5'8", decent looking, right? Doesn't have much going for him. Like it's even worse for him, right? So
Yeah.
you really gotta utilize all your apps, and even if you have to pay for it, dude, freaking pay for it. Like if that's what you have to do, if because for example, places like Tinder and Bumble, right? If you pay, they'll let you see who you matched with, right? So you can at least
Yeah.
get some people out the door. But I really suggest the best thing to do is to work on your confidence so you can pick up girls in person. That's
Oh yeah, dude, for
that's
sure.
your
Like
best bet.
I'm literally just like an in-person kind of guy where it's like I'm just like in person. Like I just know all the hot spots, like especially when I was trying to get good with talking to girls, like I lived about a mile away from the biggest mall in the city
Oh,
where like
nice.
literally all the most beautiful girls go to, like the very high status women go to. And it's like cold approaching someone in the mall, like dude, I don't care what anyone says. Like I was scared out of my
It's tough,
mind to do
dude.
that for the
Yeah.
first time. I was like, this is tough. And but like as you get better at it, of course, you grow your confidence. Like you get your first number or whatever, get your first date, and you're just like, man, this is actually like pretty cool. Like once you actually start getting success.
So one thing I'll say to that is actually I cold approached 2 nights ago, and beautiful 5'9", light skinned chick, pretty smile, nice teeth, everything, right? And
Yeah,
I hate cold approaching, but my friend's like, bro, come on, dog, come on, you're the man, go, go. So it was super
for
simple.
sure,
Walked up to her, smiled, hey, what's your name? I'm Angela. Angela, it's a pleasure to meet you. Do you live around here? She goes, yeah, I do. I'm in blank city. Like, okay, cool, that's awesome. She goes, oh, but here's a very important part. She's like, wait, are you from around here? Which shows interest, right? She wants to
for
know if
sure.
I'm in
Yeah,
the area as well, right? So, oh, I'm in blank city, right? And then they go, okay, cool. Hey, listen, I know you're here with your girls. Like, I want to crowd you. What's your IG? I'll tap you into later. Got your IG? Hey, have a good night. That was it. Real 1, 2, 3 question, get out of there, right?
yeah,
Because I feel like if you talk too much, you may legit disqualify yourself, right?
for sure. Yeah,
Just get in, ask them 3 quick questions. And my mindset is okay, this girl already wants me. I just gotta seal the deal. Second thing is I'm not attached to an end result. So if she says no, which I doubt she'll say no to a freaking Instagram, I doubt it. Then whatever. But reason why I get IG sometimes is it's a bit of a background check. Okay, he knows these people. Okay, cool. He's from this area. Okay, oh, he does this. Oh, he does that. Like it's a bit more of a background check because a number, dude. Most of these attractive girls, 8, 9, 10s, do have a bunch of unsaved numbers texting them. Right and now,
oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
you're gonna be like the 12th or the 13th, right? Especially if she doesn't remember your face that well. Because let's just say I'm 8'7" and then you're 8'7" like she go, "Hey, is this who am I talking to?" Like they'll forget, they'll get faces mixed up, right?
That's so true, bro. Like even me, like as a guy, I don't know if like you're doing this too, but like I literally have like if I went through my phone right now, dude, like I have so many unsaved numbers and it's just like crazy how many I have. Probably it's just insane, dude. Like I have like literally 8 as soon as I pop on my messages, you
True.
know.
So it's like you and so what I do is
So
I
imagine that
wait.
for girls.
Oh, it's even way worse. So I usually do is I wait a couple days and I'll swipe up on the story of them, right? I made a video on this as well. Swipe up on the story that's not thirst trap. Because you do on thirst trap, dude, you're in this big long line, right? But if you swipe up on a book she's reading, you swipe up on a coffee she's drinking. Oh, what kind of coffee is that? Oh, is that Americano? Oh, I usually do this. And then you have a small bullshit conversation with her and
Yeah.
eventually ask her, "Hey, I'm curious, what's your availability like this week?" Right? I ask availability. Now, for example, FitX Fearless, he's against availability. He likes saying, "Hey, I'm free Friday. Come have a drink with me." Right? Which is, I get
Yeah.
It's more so you're on my time, right? But
Yeah.
which I get that, and I like that. For me, because here's what happens. Let's say you really want to see this girl. I'm free Friday. Well, I'm not. Okay, well, I guess next week, right? So it's like sometimes you can shoot yourself in the foot, but again, if you're not shooting yourself in the foot if you don't care,
Yeah.
right? But for me, I ask availability because they give you days they're free and you can just pick one. So now it's a guaranteed day, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, I'm free Friday." Okay, cool. Friday, let's grab a drink at this time, right? So then I assert my assertiveness, like, "Hey, 7 p.m. this bar." And on the first day, I always offer, "Hey, would you like me to pick you up or meet there?" I know for the first date, I don't say that the second part, but I always give them an option because it is the first date. Guys can be fucking creepers. So first date, picking them up may make them feel uncomfortable.
Oh
And,
yeah, for sure, dude.
so I always, offer a meetup as well. And yeah, that's more so how I approach the first date and going from Instagram to getting her number to seeing her in person. Because sometimes here's the thing. Here's one thing I will do. Let's just say that girl I met at the bar on Tuesday. Let's say we hit it off. We start talking for like an hour. I get her number
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
already are broken the ice. I can get her number. But if it's like a quick 30-second conversation, I like grabbing IG. I feel like it's a safe bet.
The IG, I feel like the IG is better too. Unless you're a guy that has an IG that's just like totally low status. Like you've seen those like
Yeah.
low status Instagrams,
Yeah.
you're just like, but it's like if you have an IG like me or you or like some
Yeah.
other people where it's like she goes there and she's like,
Oh,
okay, this guy like has some social proof,
yeah.
you
So yeah,
know? It's like
exactly. Yeah.
then it raises their interest a little bit.
It
It
will.
makes you more mysterious too, because she's like, what's he do? You know, like what's he into? She sees like, oh, he's on TikTok. Goes to your TikTok then. Oh, this guy has millions of likes. This guy has millions, like hundreds of thousands of followers.
True. But I
Like,
think
what's
I
this
always keep my
about?
TikTok away from them. Here's the thing. I much what happens is if they go searching for it, which is not too hard, they can find it. But the thing is, though, some girls may see what we do as, again, hateful, bitter, because we're teaching men how to get girls, right? When girls, like for example, when a girl does what we do, it's totally fine, right? They don't get as much
Yeah,
shame language. When a man does what we do, it's tons of shame language, right? Because especially when we're exposing, right? When
yeah.
we're exposing, especially, it looked out as bitter, misogynistic, all this these bullshit words. Most of them don't even know what it means, right? So
Oh
I
yeah, for
usually let them
sure.
find out about it later because I want them to get to know me, okay? Because then when they get to know me, you know what? Like I see his videos, but when I was with him, like he he wasn't like that. But here's the thing about the RP. It's not something physical. It's a mindset. If you tell me, "Oh, I've only slept with like 2 guys." Oh, for sure. Okay. I know you're lying to me, right?
Like two
Or
guys equals
right.
like about six,
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Or she'll say, "Oh, I'm not really like I don't even go on dates. Like it's rare." Like I again, it's basically seeing through. It's like womanese they call it, like translation, right? Like knowing the translations of their
Yeah.
phrases. That's where
Hmm.
we come in. We know what they really mean. All my exes are crazy. Translation, like we know what they like. We
Yeah.
know what it means, right?
And most guys take that at face value too, and they're like, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like, but I'm gonna be different.
exactly. Exactly. So it's like that's what the RP does, right? Like it gives us translations, right? So on surface, we're great guys, we're like every other guy you date. But we just know more about your nature. We just know a bit more. So that's where, because they'll get confused. Oh, you're not like your videos. Of course I'm not. It's just I know I know how to translate what you say, which makes me
Yeah.
a much better, more masculine man. Also, to add to this too, I would like if women understood how to be feminine and men
Yeah.
understood how to be masculine, it'd be a perfect balance. But men don't know how to be masculine, which puts
Hmm.
women in their masculine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's just like me naturally, like the way I brought up was definitely the opposite, like of what you just said, where it's like, oh, like, like be this sweet guy, be this nice guy. And like, but that just puts women in their masculine.
Yeah.
But it's like women want to feel free. Do they want to feel comfortable with you? They want to feel like they're not judged, And like, honestly, like in my personal experience, dude, women like sex just as much, if not more, than men do. And a lot of people are like, oh no, that's not true. Like it's only men that are like that. That's actually a great flirting line too. Is like when you're talking to a girl, you're just like, do you do this for like every guy? Or like you like this with every guy? And she's like, like, because that's what a lot of girls say to guys. They're just like, oh, you like this? You say that to every girl,
Hmm.
right? It's actually like funny because we were talking about like the first date thing, and I kind of recommend like going and having like a conversation at first, but it's actually funny because my girlfriend now, we met in Cancun in this beautiful resort in Cancun.
Nice.
Met her there. She's this gorgeous model in Texas, and we just kept talking and talking and talking. And it's funny because basically our first date was me flying her out to my city to spend a week with me. So it's like you talk about like not spending a lot of money, but it's like for that I'm just like, okay, that's pretty extravagant versus just going out for coffee or whatever, right? But I guess like it's like a different situation, I guess. But I just had to add that in there. But um yeah, it was just funny because like in Cancun too, it's like you had all these guys, dude, like especially in Cancun. I don't know if you've been to Cancun before, but
That's
it's
not.
just like all these guys, dude, just like, oh, like girls, models, like I want to just talk to them, want to be around them. It's like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this kind of guy, dude. This is my favorite type of guy. The type of guy that's trying to get the girl that likes you. And so he sees that she's talking to you, and then he tries to like belittle you in front of her
Oh,
to
of
like
course.
act like he's alpha or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is the most beta male thing a man could ever do. So I bet you probably have some stories like
Yeah, of
that too,
course. To
especially
be
in
honest,
California,
yeah,
dude.
to be honest, I don't really recall them too much, but I know for a fact I've experienced it with one. It was with a friend actually, and he was doing it as a joke. It's like our thing. Like we're homies and if we see our homie talking to a girl, go, man, is he bothering you? Like it's a joke, but
Yeah.
in the real world with not a homie, I don't recall. I just feel you feel eyes on you when you're talking to a really pretty girl at the club or the bar because everyone wishes they can be that. They wish they can be you. This on the balls to go up and close the deal at all. But I'll wrap this up
Yeah.
because I have to go take my brother to work soon. But what's a chapter from your book that either a you enjoyed the most or a client or people are raving about the most?
Honestly, bro, there's two chapters in my book because I got one. I got an interview with the New York Times or the New York Weekly, and they were asking me because they had someone that read a chapter on my book. They read it was chapter 5. The chapter is called "Hot Wired Sparks of Attraction," and that's where I started to actually get. So I actually started to get like good with girls, and I actually started to become a club promoter. And what happened in that chapter really was I was trying to find it, but basically what happens at the very end is that I'm in Indianapolis, and to be a club promoter, like especially around this area or like really wherever, like there's sometimes some shady stuff you got to do.
Okay.
There's some weird stuff you got to do where it's like they want to exercise your social skills. They want to see how adapt you are to social situations. And so basically what I had to do, and this is hilarious, is that I was downtown Indy in this club, and this was like my tryout, is what they called it. And you had to what I do was the owner of the club promoting association industry was there and they're watching. He's like, okay, like I want to see you take this girl and get her into a hotel. And like he paid for the hotel and everything, he paid for the suite. And so all I had to do was just get her from the club to the suite. That's all I had to do. So he's like, okay, let me see your social ability to get this girl back to this hotel. And I'm at this club, And I see this girl. He sends me pictures. Like, get this girl back to the hotel. And there's this girl, this platinum blonde hair, this silver dress. So she looked like, I don't know if you've seen Terminator 2, but
Oh
she was
yeah.
like that goo, like that goo, whatever,
Yeah.
like the all steel person. It looked
Gotcha.
like a, and then she had fake breasts and everything, super tan, spray tan. And I found out she was a model from California. And I'm about to go. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'm gonna go see what I can do here. Just get her back to this hotel and do whatever. And I go down there and I realize that there's this big dude that approaches her, comes up next to her, and I found out that they were together. And it was this Colts player for the Indianapolis Colts, like, like NFL teams.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, shit. Like, how am I gonna get this girl away from this guy? Like, especially if they're dating. I'm like, or else, like, if I don't like do this, if I can't show this, I'm like, they would cut you. They'd be like, okay, you're out. Like, you're not going to be a club promoter. So like, it was like a high stress situation where it's like I had to play my cards exactly right in order to even have a chance. And so like, I feel like alone would be so much easier. But I was like, I have to get this girl away from this guy whose status is through the roof, whose social proof probably has the blue tick, big dude, like, NFL football player. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. And luckily, I had someone I knew that was in the club, like, with us, like, because he was like, okay, you can bring like a little bit of a group, you can bring some friends with you. And so I had this dude in my group who had a problem, like had an anger management problem. And basically he only had like a one track mind where he's like, I just want to get with girls. Like, all I want is just like sleep with girls and that's it. And so if he saw like, he was one of those guys. I don't know if you've seen those guys that are just super out there where like he on the street, he's rolling down the window and being like, damn, you're hot as hell.
Oh
Like,
damn. Okay.
yell out the window. Like, he was just like, he did not care. And so I'm like strategizing in my head, like, how am I going to get this girl back to this hotel? And I'm like, okay, um, I go up to her and I forgot exactly. Oh yeah, she had this glum look on her face. I remember exactly what I said. I went up to her. I was like, why are you sitting here with like this bad mood look on your face? Like this woe is me look. And she looks at me. She's like, excuse me. And I was like, shoot. Like, she didn't take it well. Obviously, like, it was a tease. It was a tease. She didn't take it well at all. And she was like, why would you try to like call me out in front of all these people like that? And this was when like the Colts player like goes to the bathroom. So she's alone. So I approached
Okay.
her alone and I'm like, shoot, like, this guy's gonna come back and he's gonna see that she's pissed at me. I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked and cut from this. And I was like, and so I had to think on my feet. And I was like, okay, like, what's the perception kind of thing here? And I looked back at her and I was like, well, like, would you rather be the type of guy that comes up to you and just lets you sit in this state, or would you rather me be the type of man that brings you out of this state and like challenges you to a different level? I thought about it for a second, and the Colts player comes back, asked her if everything's all right, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm just catching up with somebody." And then he takes her and pulls her to the other side of the bar, like pulls her away from me. And so I go back to this guy that I told you was a hothead, and I was like, he was like, well, like, how was that conversation? Like, what'd you say to her? Like, what did she say? And I think she's interested in you, actually. And she was like, I was like, just like, I have to tell you this, like, the little, like, she feels like controlled by this guy, and she says she noticed you. She thinks you're really cute and wants you to come up and save her from that Colts player. And so immediately, like, he gets up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna go save her from this Colts player." And like, I totally just made that up. Like I said, like, I was in a bad state of mind. Like,
Hmm.
I was a very, very manipulative type of person back in that. That's a lot of the reason why I left that community, is just because it was just pure manipulation. And so I basically manipulated him to go up to this Colts player, and he goes up to this girl. And I remember I was walking like close behind, but I didn't want to like be right next to him. I was standing behind a pillar, I think. And so he turns to this girl, the platinum blonde, right in front of the Colts player, and he's like, "So, um, does the carpet match the drapes?"
Mm.
And immediately, like, the Colts player was like, "What the fuck? Like, what'd you say?" Like, he's like, I'm about to fight this guy. And then the platinum blonde's like, "Excuse me, like, what is wrong with you?" Like, she's cussing him out, like, she slapped his arm, and the Colts player like pushes him, and like I said, like, he's a hothead, right? And so he grabs like this knife off the counter, and then the Colts player, he shatters this beer bottle, this glass bottle, so like they both have a weapon. And then the security comes in, takes them both away because they're both about to like fight each other, kill each other. Security comes in, pulls them both away, and that was my strategy the entire time, to just get her alone, because he pulls them both out of the club. Now she's alone by herself at the bar. She goes back, sits down at the bar, sinks her hands, like goes like this, like sinks her face into her hands. And I was like, it's my perfect opportunity now. And so I go up and I get 2 shots of tequila, one for me, from one for her. And I was like, it looks like you could use this. And then I take a shot with her and we start talking a little bit. I'm pulling out some cold reads and she's blushing, like she's loving it. And eventually I was just like, well, like, how about we go back and how about we go talk in private? And she's like, no, I really should. And so I pulled out like the takeaway where I was like, okay, like I respect that about you. And I get up and I'm about to walk away and she grabs my wrist and she's like, and she takes another shot of tequila and she's like, okay, let's go. And so like that's that part of my chapter where I had to like get this girl back to the hotel. So we eventually get back to the hotel and one thing leads to another. And that's really what happened there. So, so like that's one of the stories that actually got a lot of attention and from my book.
Oh, makes sense, dude. And it makes a lot of sense. Like everything was so things had to a lot of things had to happen. Like you couldn't just walk up to her, say, "Hey, what's up? What's your name? Where you from?" and then get her back to your place. It was a bit more of a series of events had to go down in order for you to get this chick back. Which is that's a crazy story. And it makes sense why they want to talk to you about that chapter because that chapter probably was the most interesting of had it was a roller coaster, right? Saw the girl, saw the guy. There's a challenge in your way. Sent the one dude to go take away him, and you. It was that's dope. That's real dope.
Yeah, dude, like that. It was just insane. And so like I'm just like just pulling that off like as a fluke, I feel like, and just like getting that
Mhm.
done. So it's like I have to like as soon as I went home that night, like as soon as I went home, dude, I was like, I have to write about this. Like
Yeah,
literally probably like 3/4 of this book is me drunk writing it. Just because like after these girls are asleep or whatever,
mhm.
like after promoting a club, like I'm literally just like, holy shit, like my game was on fire. Like I have to write everything I said, what my mindset was. So it's like I'm up at like 4 o'clock in the morning on my laptop, sitting at this desk, like half drunk, just taking notes, dude, typing on my laptop, just like I gotta get this story down because if I wake up the next morning, like I'm gonna be hungover. I'm not gonna remember anything. I'm not gonna want to get on my laptop. And so like while I'm drunk right now, like I'm typing this stuff up. And so it's just hilarious because like a lot of my book, like a lot of people don't know that I'm literally like hammered.
That's so
Just like I
dope.
gotta get all these notes down. I gotta get all this down. It's like that chapter, like I was tipsy as heck. And she's passed out in my bed in the suite bed. And I'm at the desk just like I gotta write these notes down, dude. Like I gotta get this down. Like this story was insane.
Wow. Dang. Hey, I'm gonna take a quick picture of you real quick just for IG. Hey,
For
one,
sure.
two, three. All right. If it's selling the cam real quick. Yeah, for those of you watching this on streaming this on Spotify, yeah, we just take a little picture. I like to promote, you know, my like the guests I'm with, let help them gain some followers as well. But man, I do appreciate you coming on. I think this was a very cool podcast because I had a script, but we kind of just breeze through without any type of like awkward silences or anything like that. So it's always cool to have a guest where we can just kind of just go back and forth and not have to worry look back down at my notes because when things kind of slow down, I got to pick it back up with a new topic. But we kind of just bounced from topic to topic really, really well without like much scripting, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, dude, that's what I wanted too. Cause like there are podcasts that I've been on where it's like they're just like, oh, like they're not really like feeling the vibe or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is so awkward. So I gotta like fill it with some like other conversations, some dialogue to
Yeah,
revive it a little bit, but
exactly.
like
And what I do
get it
is
flow smooth.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip this up and I'm gonna send you some clips through text. You can, if you want, you can post it. If you not, I don't care. Just so you have some content, more content for your viewers. And definitely, also last thing, talk about the book, and we'll end this out.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on, by the way. But I enjoyed it actually. This is probably one of the best podcasts I've ever been on. And
Salute,
so
bro. Real
I'd love
quick,
to
yeah,
do another one, dude.
yeah, talk about the book real quick, so then they know.
Love to I'd love to come to do one in person too, eventually, a podcast in person. But yeah, the book, dude, like what do you want to know? This is actually my profile pic
I know,
on.
no, more so like the name of the book and where they can find it. More like a little self plug.
Yeah, okay. So my book is called Waking the Core of Man. It's on Amazon. The hardcover's on Lulu. I'm actually currently working on an audio version because a lot of
Nice.
people are just like, "Can you make an audio
Yeah, true.
version?"
Yeah,
And
they're
I'm just like,
lazy.
"Yeah, I got to work on it." There's like some just like some minor grammar things like I want to fix up just like with this book.
Hmm.
before I actually make an audiobook. And so I just want to like I'm getting feedback from people right now. I had to hire an editor and everything before I published. And I wanted to fix all of like the minor, just minor grammar stuff in there that I want to fix before I actually make an audiobook, because I don't want to have to remake an audiobook. I feel like that's
Yeah,
going to be
that'd be terrible.
a lot of work, especially like with everything that's going on right now already,
Absolutely.
you know. But
Gotcha.
the book, yeah, it's called Waking the Core of Man, the gateway to separating yourself from the average man with dating, attraction, and love. And it's about stepping inside of the shady world of club promoting to learn the tricks and darkest secrets behind attraction dating in order to take control of your love life. Oh
Perfect.
man. And I actually
Make
get a
sure you
lot of
guys
women,
go.
dude, that read that.
Yeah, make sure
Like
you go
more
get that
women read
book,
it than
guys.
men.
Go get that book, read it, give him a good review on Amazon. And I appreciate you appreciate you, Sandra, for coming on. I'll definitely talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me on,
Peace.
bro.
Peace out, brother.